Hey, where did we go? Nights when the rain came down in the hollow, playing a brand new game, the Breakfast with Bob.
And Poncho Man, bring it home. Who here brought to you by EAS, Myoplex, Hoka One One, Polar, Velofix, Normatec, Four Seasons, Hualalai. We will be hosting our championship edition on Sunday. Amiel Power Breather, our next guest, six times, I think, top 10 here in Kona. Yes.
5 or 6?
Six,
okay.
It is.
6 it is.
Rachel Joyce, how about a round of applause for the Joyceinator? How are you?
Well, it's good to be back, Bob. Yeah, I'm well.
And being a mom, is it the coolest thing ever?
Yes, it is fantastic. It's just been a fabulous year, and I can't quite believe it's already been a year, because this time last year I was at home and I was watching all your Breakfast with Bobs.
What a good person you are. With Archie.
Yeah.
And so Archie's here.
Yes, he is. He's in the crowd over there.
How fun.
Yeah.
So this is a different year, because being a new mom, you weren't planning to be here.
No. Like, if you'd asked me, if you'd shown me what my race schedule has been this summer,
you would have
at
laughed.
the beginning of the year, I'd have been like, no way. But it's happened, and I just got bitten by I just decided Kona was where I wanted to be, and it has been fun getting here and doing like a completely different build to any previous years.
So did it start with Boulder?
Yeah, I didn't enter Boulder thinking, okay, I want to qualify for Kona. I just was like, it's a home race.
Right.
It'll be fun to do an Ironman, without any travel. And then I crossed the finish line, and I knew I wanted to qualify for Kona, and so that's when the mission started.
And so that was the beginning of the mission. Then next was Ironman Canada.
Yes. So then I went to Whistler, which I think was 6 weeks after Boulder.
Yes.
And I was hoping to seal up my qualification there. But I just had one of those days where nothing came easy, and I finished in 4th place, and I needed to come 3rd in order to meet the July qualifying standard. So then it was back to the drawing board, and I was thinking maybe I'll just leave it to chance and see if I qualify, but that's not really how I'm wired. I want to be in control of, if I decided I wanted to be in Kona, so I wanted to take control of that process. So pretty much the afternoon of Ironman Whistler, emailed to get on the start line for Ironman Mont Tremblant in 3 weeks later. And I was up there as well. What a spectacular... yeah. It was one of those lucky things, because you might not have ever been there. No, exactly. In deciding that I wanted to qualify to Kona later has meant that I've done a whole bunch of races that I normally wouldn't have done. Right. And I loved Mont Tremblant. It's one of those Ironmans where the community really embraces the athletes, and there's just such a fantastic atmosphere, and then I won. So I don't have so many Ironman wins that doesn't mean anything. Never gets old. Yes, so that was a nice way to qualify, and then it was head down for 8 weeks. So 8-week block, staying at home in Boulder, just getting ready for this. Yes, yeah. And of course, I'm sure you're doing Arizona right after this, because you got to keep that every 6-8 weeks doing an Ironman. Just because it's so much fun. No. No. I would take a little time off. So, like you said, this was not the prescribed journey that you were looking to take, but it's been okay. Has your body been able to handle it? It has, for sure. I think the toughest recovery was after Ironman Boulder. I think maybe for where I was in my training, that performance, I punched a bit above my fitness weight. Right. So it just took a while for me to recover from it. But since then, I feel like the whole year I've been building fitness, and it's kind of an exciting place to be, that I'm now, 4 or 5 days out from the race, and I feel like I'm still on a major upward curve in fitness. And so I feel like it could all come together. If I'd have looked at it on paper, I'd have thought I've over-raced, but it hasn't been like that. I feel like I've absorbed and gained fitness through each Ironman and come here raring to go.
Exactly. It's one of those things that when you come in with the backlog of training and racing that you've done the last few months, the average person would go, okay, well, Rachel won't be a factor. She's just going to be here. And I'm guessing you sort of like that, the fact that nobody's saying, oh, Rachel Joyce is going to win the race.
Oh, absolutely. It's really, it's been, this time last year, I was the most unfit I've ever, I've been since I don't know when, like being pregnant, I stayed active, but your body changes a lot. And then, the first few weeks and months of having a newborn baby, it takes a toll. You're not sleeping. It's kind of the opposite of being a professional athlete. I don't come first. It's all about Archie, and so I'm not keeping an eye on how much I'm. Sleep goes out the window.
Right.
Nutrition is out the window. You grab what you can, and I've taken real pleasure in the process of getting fit again. And the race on Saturday, of course, I'm a competitive athlete. I want to go out there and lay it down. But it's also a celebration of what what your body can do, from having a baby this time last year to now being on the start line with the best women in the world over the Ironman distance.
And with completing 3 Ironmans basically within this past year after having a baby.
Yeah, I think it'll be my 4th Ironman in 4 months.
Which is the silliest thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
For you too.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
Absolutely. As a lawyer, as a logical person, you go like, no. That's not. Yeah, anybody who knows you would go, yeah, Rachel would never do anything. That's silly.
Yeah. No, it would not have been on my radar. But I would say when you do something completely different, had I done all of that and trained like a normal Kona prep, then I would be here and I would probably be like this on the table.
Oh my God, yeah.
But when you prep for a race differently, you have to adapt your training and you have to change, because I do have 3 Ironmans in my body, and if I tried to do the exact same prep I have in previous years, I don't think I would be sat here feeling fresh and excited to race. I think I'd just feel tired. So that's been a fun change as well. And I think if you approach, attitude has so much to do with how you feel when you go into a race, and I like those kind of like logistical challenges.
Sure.
So it's been a fun process.
And being a mom, you come home after a tough workout or whatever. Archie doesn't care.
No, absolutely.
He could care less, right?
It's like, let's play.
Let's play, let's eat, let's whatever.
Yeah. And that's a great piece of balance, like it puts everything in perspective, and any propensity I had to overanalyze or overthink sessions has like disappeared, because I do the session and then that's banked and then it's on to the next.
You just get it done.
Yeah.
You just move it done.
Yeah.
And Julie Dibbins still coaching, and obviously this is a little different. You're coming back from having a baby, and then it's plan B, or we're going to do 3 to try to get to Kona.
Yes.
That seems like a collaborative type of deal.
Yes, I'm working with Julie this year, and I also there's 3 of us. Matt Bottrill is part of the coaching team too, and they've been awesome, because sometimes I'm a little, like I say, sometimes I just get the training done, and haven't always been the most communicative athlete, and that's where Julie's been great, because she's in Boulder and I see her at training, so she almost will fill in the gaps that I'm not telling Matt, because sometimes I'm not putting the comments in about my training, and they've really embraced the challenge of getting ready for Kona in a different way, and she was supportive the whole way through my pregnancy and let me swim. I'd gone swim with the group, and then when Archie was little, and she would watch him on the side while he was sleeping in the stroller. And I have to say, sometimes I'd be like, I hope he wakes up, because when you're unfit, 5 kilometers seems like a really long swim.
Oh,
and
I've got to go now.
I was hoping he would wake up so I could get out after 3K, but he usually slept the duration, so I had to do the whole lot.
So when you look back at your career, and like I said, 6 top 10s here, a couple of second places, what do you look at as your favorite race or best race?
I think it's hard to beat my first ever race here because it's very, in your career, it's very rare to. I completely did not expect to come 6th. I was a first year, it was my first year here. It was less than a year after I'd done my first Ironman, and I couldn't believe I came 6th.
And that wasn't long after leaving legal practice.
Yes, yeah, like I'd been working for the law firm the Christmas before. So that was to me the moment where I thought, okay, I can actually make a career out of this.
Yes.
And then I would say in terms of my performance here, 2013 I think was my best race I've had here so far.
That second place.
Yes, yeah.
Do you look back at that one and go, God, that should have been a win? Not until I mentioned that. I just ruined all the mojo right there. Boom.
No, I'm just really happy with that race. You have to look at your own performance, and I really feel like I had a really good performance that day, and Rinny was better on that day, and that's how racing goes.
Exactly. Now, has Rinny reached out at all now that she's got a little one as well?
I went to see Rinny and met little Izzy a few weeks ago, and How
fun
really
is that?
Sweet. Yeah, no, it's really nice to see so many new triathlete babies coming onto the scene, and it's something we all share. We've shared a lot on the race course, and now this is kind of the next stage. We're all not that the racing's over, but it's the
next stage.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're telling Rinny, 4 Ironman is a really good idea. I think you should really plan to do that. It's really the best thing to come back from pregnancy is do 4 Ironmans. Yeah.
I don't think she's convinced with that.
So what would you be happy with on Saturday?
I think I'm looking to have my best race of this year, and this is going to be one of those really wishy-washy answers. I'm not going to say
That's okay.
want. I feel like if I have my best race and really use all the fitness I have, I could be amongst the top women.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be here if I didn't think I can still compete at the very top. So that's what I want to be a factor in the race, and that's why I'm here.
I mean, you always are. Did that first race in Boulder surprise you? Because you're just coming back and having a day like that.
Yeah, it was like the best case scenario. It was kind of a nice race to go into. I didn't put any pressure on myself. I was like, well, I don't know where I'm at. I had a pretty short Ironman block going into it, so I didn't know, but I'm called the diesel engine, so I know that I can keep going for a long time.
Yes, you
but
can.
It was good to feel so strong all day, even up to the finish, and it was one of the highlights. Winning was one of the highlights, to do it.
Absolutely.
It was like a family victory, because we were all involved in.
And Archie was
getting
there.
Ready for it. And Archie was there, and I saw him a whole bunch of times out on the course, and
that's so cool.
That's good memories.
Love it. Well, congrats on your year.
Thank you.
I mean, I just think it's amazing that you're doing 4 in 1 year after having a baby, and more importantly, I'm sure Archie will have fun playing in the water while you're out there sweating on the lava field.
Yeah, no, it's been lovely to come back, and he looks at the palm trees with wonder, and he's loved being in the ocean, and it's kind of a nice antidote to the pressure pot that Kona becomes in this race week.
You get to see this island through his eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Rachel, best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you, Bob, and good to be back.
Rachel Joyce! The Joyceinator! We are brought to you by EAS Mileplex and Mr. Poncho Man. Take us out.
Do you remember when we used to sing sha la 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 and Breakfast with Bob and Joyce.
And Pancho Man!